everybody, my name is Ron Tucker. Welcome to another edition of At Ron's Talking on YouTube, of course. I want to thank anybody who's taken the time to take a look at my channel and listen to what I have to say. I'm not a soothsayer. I consider myself as a truth sayer. I decided to get involved in this sort of endeavor of having a channel to voice my opinions on the things that are going on in our country. There are so many people out there, of course, that have opinions about it as well. I'm not the only one, of course, but I believe so many other so-called individuals who are talking about how America is going down the tubes, and we're not going to survive as a country. We're not going to make it unless this one individual, I think y'all know his name, let me see, Donald Trump. Does that ring a bell to some of you? Anyway, this man and his minions are determined to just bring our country down, and it's often said in that manner, maybe not with that exact phrase, but I think most of the people who know where I'm coming from gets the drift. Donald Trump has obviously a vested interest in trying to become president so he can reclaim power again and put us in a worse situation than we were before when he was in the office the first time. And we all know kind of how that went. And it's amazing the things that he'll do and say and the lengths he'll take to try to get himself out of the legal bind that he's in. And make no mistake about it, he's in a legal bind. But his goal and aim, for sure, is to reclaim that seat of power so he can try to wipe everything away. I don't think it's going to happen, even if he happened to find lightning in a bottle again. I believe our legal system, what's left of it, will still have enough guardrails in place to slow him down, if not stop him dead in his tracks like they did the first time on his last term. But he's still dangerous. The things that he says, the rhetoric, the lies, which is constant with him, still undermines our country and what norms we have left, because he's damn sure tried to tear down everything that we stand for, the things that are righteous, the things that make sense, the things that helps us become a great country. And then, these MAGA people always run around with his slogan, "Make America Great Again." I just want to take a look and examine what that is supposed to be all about. And it's something I said before, but I think it bears another look and to reiterate what I've spoken before in one of my previous videos. So I'm going to share it with you again, because my goal and aim is basically to expose the insanity and hypocrisy of the Trump-controlled GOP and attempt to illustrate how utterly ridiculous it is to elect today's Republicans for office, virtually any of them, because they all basically follow Trump's lead, and how ridiculous it is to continue to re-elect these same politicians over and over again that have a vested interest in continuing to sow the seeds of racism and hate to the people. So, let me just understand how this Make America Great Again program is supposed to work, because I guess no other president in our history, nor the people of this nation, have ever tried to accomplish that. It's a new thing that only Trump understands what it's all about and how to accomplish it. I guess it must have never occurred to them, those former presidents and people in the past, that it's a worthwhile endeavor to pursue. So Donald Trump, who hijacked the phrase from Ronald Reagan, I guess is attempting to do a do-over in 2024. Unlike his accomplishments, or accomplishments that he didn't accomplish in 2016 to 2020, which apparently failed because he is still saying the same thing: make America great again. Again. Now, is there a time frame when this is supposed to take form, and when will we know when it's happened? Do we have a big national celebration? Are all American citizens invited to join the festivities? That's an interesting question because who is going to be invited when that, I guess, that tremendous day occurs and happens? Let me start with what about the Haitians? So they're the hottest topic in the news pretty much right now. Um, do they get an invite? How about the LGBTQs? That group. What about the blacks? What about whites? Well, they probably get in by default. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. How about the original Americans? You know, American Indians. How about the? Wait a minute. Their land was taken anyway by eminent domain, so but they got some casinos, so they can just while away the time playing blackjack, I guess. Now, but surely we have to include Jews, Muslims, Latinos, anyone? How about Asian Americans? And what about religious people, religious groups, like Catholics, for instance, Baptists, your everyday run-of-the-mill Christians? How about them? Hindus, Jehovah's Witnesses, and Mormons. How about Seventh-day Adventists, Protestants, even atheists, KKK, Proud Boys, one percenters, two percenters if they exist. How about neo-Nazis? How about black Nazis? Oh, sorry, Mark. Did I miss anybody? Oh, yeah. What about Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, and just plain old stupid people? Y'all are all welcome under this tent, I guess. I think it's still under construction. So, well, as you can see, MAGA people, y'all got a lot of work to do, and I know I missed tons of other people that is going to want an RSVP too. So please, please, let us know when you have figured out the logistics on this simple endeavor. America would like to know when the GOP is going to do their thing and when we can celebrate our next national holiday. As a matter of fact, since Donald Trump has claimed this slogan and embraced it as his own, well, I guess I need to ask him and the GOP to make sure that old Captain Bone Spurs includes this MAGA plan into Project 2025. I think it'd be a good fit. Maybe if he decides to take up the Kamala Harris second debate challenge, he could take the time then to expound on it at that time. Just a thought. And by the way, a little piece of advice to Melania Trump, since she's been chirping a lot about, Trump being treated unfairly, and we need to ease up on the rhetoric on the left side. Now, we know it's convenient for you to come out of the WPP, and if you don't know what the WPP stands for, Witness Protection Program. She came out just in time to do a little book grifting lately. But if you want the so-called rhetoric from the left to be toned down, you might want to take a look at some of your husband's speeches at his rallies, or not. Then get back with us, okay? Simple. That's all I got to say about that. Now, excuse me for a little coffee break here, folks. All right, well, I'd like to dig into some more little topics, or individuals, if you will. I think I'll start with old Amber Rose. And then I'm sure y'all know who she is. She doesn't know what race she identifies with, but I mean, to me, race identification is not a big deal to me, but it is to other people. But let's go on with this. She's doubling down on Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. I always say that J.D. stands for just dumb. So she's doubling down on their response and the things that they said. She's trying to defend them on the Springfield Haitians eating dogs and cats. I've never understood why so many people can't wrap their minds around the fact that these two individuals, and they weren't the only ones involved in it, that ignited this whole firestorm of criticism and bomb threats and death threats on a population of people that hasn't done nothing to anybody as far as this thing is concerned. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance told blatant, outright lies rather. And they have done so much harm and damage to a little town that really, a lot of people, most people, didn't have a clue as to where Springfield was, and they damn sure didn't think that Springfield was harboring individuals who were eating dogs and cats from neighboring people's yards and whatnot. I mean, after, first of all, it's just ludicrous on its face. After it was discovered that these two clowns, Vance and Trump, were just telling outright lies just to enhance their chances to get some more votes. This shows you the mentality of some people who don't care about our country and our Constitution, but are always trying to blame other people for being the downfall of our union. It's just amazing, the obfuscation and all the projectionism and the things that people like them say. Craven lies, bald-faced lies, and they still don't get enough pushback from the media, to me, in my estimation. Okay? It's sad. But anyway, she was asked a question by a reporter, I think outside of an airport a few days ago, or wherever she was at. And her response is indicative of the rot that is MAGA. Now, she knows that if she keeps lying for Trump, she could be his next Omarosa in his cabinet, possibly, or in his orbit in the White House, if he gets there, right? So, with her knowing that, that's the reason why she's coming like that. And it's just amazing what people will do and what they'll stoop to just to become relevant again. Now, people are running around complaining about Kamala Harris's gun comment about shooting an intruder in her home if somebody broke in her house. Why is it that she can't do the same thing that most law-abiding Americans will always be chirping about? If the question was posed to them, they're going to hide behind the Second Amendment rights. But if she says it, oh, there's cause for a problem here. What's going on here? She's not supposed to be able to say things like that. She can't protect herself, can she? She doesn't have those same rights. All you 2A people, you're always complaining about somebody trying to take your gun rights away from you. But when she speaks up, being a gun owner, and say, yeah, somebody comes to my crib trying to break in or something like that, they're going to get popped. It's a problem. Of course, we know the climate we're in right now. They got to have something to say about her. If they ain't criticizing her for laughing, they criticizing her for saying that she's going to do the same thing that the average gun owner who owns a home would do. But anyway. And Candace Owens. Now, neither her nor Amber Rose identified as being black. Now, Candace Amber, who just came out straight up and stated that she is absolutely not black. She wanted everybody to know that. Like, we didn't already understand that's your feelings about yourself. Yeah. Trust me, truly, black people don't really need you. And you can stay whatever camp you feel yourself in. You can straddle the fence like you straddle. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Not tonight. Okay. You see, I will say this, though. That she ain't never had any qualms about getting some of that black pole. Now, I wonder if she considers her kids from Wiz Khalifa as black or something. Because he's showing up black the last time I checked, unless he didn't denounce his color too, or his race. I'm just curious. I'm just saying. Now, my observation on all this is, when we look at our country right now, it is so divided, and it continues to stay divided because we got actors such as former president and VP candidate, Republicans, of course, who have ignited racial hatred and turmoil in this small town of Ohio by lying out of their teeth about Haitian immigrants eating neighbors' dogs and cats. I know it's getting worn out talking about it, but it still bears conversation because it's an atrocity what those two guys have perpetrated. And all it's done was just spread more fuel, added more fuel, and just keeps this flame of racism just going from not only from Springfield, it's erupted all over the United States, quiet as kept. You'll see down the road in the future, Springfield is just the epicenter. Watch how far it keeps going up until election time. But this, to me, I think was Trump's real reason for doing it this way. And Vance, his accomplice, they knew that it was going to start something just to take people's attention away from the real deal, which Trump is losing. Okay, he already lost his mind, but he's going to lose his election. Okay, but it's a shame. They don't have a single piece of evidence, never did, and the media, they, like I said, I'm not saying that they're not doing anything, but I don't think they're doing enough to highlight the blatant lies that these two men have perpetrated. And also, I think the governor and the mayor, some of those people should be more forceful to explain to the American public why those Haitian immigrants were there. They weren't just dropped out of the sky. 20,000 Haitians weren't just dumped on Springfield for no reason. Tell the truth and keep telling so some of these knuckleheads out there can understand that Trump and Vance and other people who have been pushing this lie are just bald-faced liars, and you can't trust them. Okay? Yeah, like I said, they ain't got a single piece of evidence. And see, the Amber Rose of the world and her accomplices, they just as guilty as Trump and Vance, because it doesn't really matter who and where and when the lies were spoken and by whom. She just told her lies later. That's all. Trump and them just told theirs beforehand. And what's so pitiful is that of all of them is they don't give a shit about those people or that city. They don't care. As long as it helps them gain their objectives, whatever they are. And anybody who has an objective like that to denigrate a group of people because they're black, there is some sorry people in this country. Now, Amber Rose, to me, is and always will be what she is, an opportunistic skank who knew that aside from her good looks, I give her credit, she's got good looks. There's no doubt. And then her other asset, I guess she uses, the second one, is a big booty, whether it be manufactured or not. It's not my business to decide on where she got that thing taken care of at some kind of wherever they do those BBL stuff and how they do it. I really don't care. It's not my thing. But I know besides her booty, there's that third component, and I ain't going to mention what it is. You should be able to understand on your own without me telling you. But see, she was losing relevance in life, in my estimation. And one of the ways a lot of people like her will gain relevance in this country right now. So all she got to do is do what she did, which was align herself with the MAGA crowd and get some shine while still being a typical hoe and homewrecker. And when you're willing to participate in the misery of black people because your skin color is almost white, you are a total piece of shit to me. And you will get a return on your investment one day, Miss Rose, in due time. You just stay tuned. So here we have with Ohio Trump at his finest and worst. And he took his butt to some rally in a place called Prairie du Chien in Wisconsin, wherever that is. I don't know. But think about it, Trump forgot his little white pointy hat and his robe and launched into this equivocation of the criminal types in America that we're dealing with here in this country. And according to Harry Trump, ours and the stone cold killers that make our criminals look like babies. Trump wants to say that we got criminals here in America, yeah, but those criminals who are immigrants were not, they worse than ours. It's like I've said before in the past, if an American murders somebody domestically and slashes somebody's throat, multiple murders, serial killer, whatever the case may be. See, Trump's little warped mind, he knows that if he play that kind of card, it's going to elicit a response from his minions. It's just that simple. Trump's game is not hard to figure out. He's just a racist. And he knows the race card is, he's going to try to use that to help him get reelected. It's that simple. Then he says, you got to do what you got to do. But in the same sentence, here comes the racism in him. You got to send these people back where they come from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to have crime. And wait, here comes one of his all-time favorite phrases. The likes of which nobody ever seen before. And he's right. Because every time this wannabe Hitler wants to give the MAGA morons a joke when he thinks they're either dozing off or leaving his clan like revivals lately, like Kamala pointed out, he's chapped about that. He hits them right between the eyes with the phrase that pays. And they'll walk into your kitchen and slit your throats. Then he tells us what we already know about his plans if he becomes president again. He's going to prosecute people who cheated on this election. And this election hasn't even happened yet. But you can see his projection scheme. He is already setting it up. A redo of 2020 if he loses again. And we're going to go back to the last one if we're allowed to. That's what he said. So you can see the con in him at work. So I assume since he and his assorted henchmen are the only ones indicted of crimes so far, I guess he means he's going to prosecute himself. Again? The former grifter-in-chief who's hiding from another frontal assault from VP Harris because he's hiding at his rallies and trying to disparage her from a distance by calling her born mentally impaired. I mean, he's got the nerve. But, if she's so mentally impaired, I just wonder if Trump is so mentally superior. And why don't he take full advantage of the opportunity to atone from his Biden-like disaster at the last debate and confront her again? Make up for that debacle that he put together. But we all know why he ain't going to do it. See, he looks and he talks like the pathetic fool and loser he is right now. Trump knows that VP Harris does not have to resort to calling him any names and attacking him because she knows exactly who he is and that he gets more desperate as every day peels away from the calendar and his doomsday is fast approaching. And he and J.D. just done Vance. They ain't got no ammo to fight with. I mean, they can try the race card and all the race baiting. hurling insults at her and lying about some black victims in small town Ohio. But see, the real deal, folks, Trump is scared shitless. And he is terrified of the consequences of losing again. And it's all this old bullshit about a border crisis that a GOP rep stated that, yes, they, along with Trump, did not want the bipartisan border bill to pass because it would make the Biden administration look good and take away a GOP talking point. The hell with helping the border patrols in the situation. They ain't got time for that. They ain't trying to stop that. If they stopped it, they wouldn't have nothing to run on. I mean, come on, America. I know most of the ones that are blind and don't want to see, I feel sorry for them, but it's the truth. Y'all getting snookered by the crook. And see, Trump, he took credit for killing the bill, just like he took credit for killing Roe v. Wade. I don't understand. The man tells on himself and tells people the criminality of his mindset and the criminal acts he's done. And they still support him. Make America great again. How? Oh my God. Last but not least, this incompetent fool. He had just embarrassed himself in his meeting with the Ukrainian President Zelensky a couple of days ago. Now, being the ultimate liar and fraudster, he had to stand next to the man he tried to coerce into helping him dig up dirt on his opponent, Joe Biden, which led to his impeachment. And then he tried, now, and it was pathetic watching him, he tried to put a pathetic spin on it by attempting to praise Zelensky and butter him up. And I guess in his warped mind, his warped way of thinking, standing up for Trump and vindicating him by saying, Zelensky said, Trump did absolutely nothing. He did nothing wrong. Now, Trump said it loud and clear, and the impeachment hoax died right there. Now, that's what Trump said. I'll rephrase that. This is how Trump ran it. He said Zelensky said this. He said it loud and clear, and the impeachment hoax died right there. Did y'all know that President Zelensky was a material witness for Trump at his impeachment? Did anybody know that? I didn't know that. I missed it. I don't know. That one went over my head. I didn't know that Zelensky declared that Trump hadn't done anything wrong. But if Zelensky did make a declaration, it must have been weak to the House because they still impeached his ass. And this shameless piece of shit, Trump, as is Trump's MO, he stood there and lied and told Zelensky what he told all of us that we never heard, and looked at Zelensky and told him what he allegedly said. And he told this man what he said. That President Trump did nothing wrong. With great emphasis now. You don't believe me? You go back and look at it yourself. Let me tell y'all something. Excuse me for another pause for the cause. If you observe Trump and you know anything about crackheads, Trump is just like a crackhead. Now see, when a crackhead is trying to explain a good lie that they done cooked up, what they tend to do is repeat themselves over and over. And they repeat it to themselves, and everybody's listening just to reinforce it because they can hardly believe the bullshit themselves. Of course, the liar in chief, which is Trump, had to try to relitigate the 2020 election, his loss, by repeating he won. Now, this man standing next to the president of Ukraine, and like he always does at his rallies and just interviews and stuff, he doesn't give a damn if he was standing there talking to Jesus Christ. He would lie and try to rehash old grievances that have nothing to do with why they are standing there talking to each other. He don't care. And here's let me show y'all how really stupid he is. He is so ignorant. And he told the reporters at that little press conference, now get this. He said that President Zelensky called Trump to congratulate Trump on Zelensky's victory when he was elected president. Let that sink in for a second. And let me repeat it one more time just for emphasis, so y'all can actually get the message and understand what an imbecile this man is. He told the reporters at that press conference that President Zelensky called Trump to congratulate Trump on Zelensky's victory. And they talk about Joe Biden's mind is addled. Come on, y'all. Come on. I bet you a dime to a dollar. Now, I may be wrong tomorrow, but I bet you a lot of people, maybe in the media, didn't catch that. And I'm going to see how many of them spoke out about it and mentioned it on their newscast or whatever their communication method is through social media or on the air, on TV. I'm going to watch for it. But I listened to it, I'm like, I couldn't believe this man is so damn dumb. But he's desperate too, okay? He needs to drop out of the race right now and just save further embarrassment. Because that's incredible. Okay. Then old Sir Dodo tried to slide in his good relationship he has with him and Vladimir Putin, his handler. And he started talking that old bullshit about if he wins, he will broker a deal between both sides to end the conflict as only he can. But that's when Zelensky had had enough and decided, now this pressure is over. And he let the louse in the house know that he does not have a good relationship with Putin, and Trump, looking shook as a crook, he got caught. And what Zelensky was putting down, he figured it out and decided to end his bloviating by repeating again that Zelensky gave a very honest answer back then to somebody, and that effectively ended the impeachment hoax, and he still got impeached. He got that impeachment collar hung around his damn neck, and another one was coming later on. You see, the man he's beyond delusional and deranged. But I understand, totally. Trump is terrified, but it was cringeworthy to watch him try and be diplomatic, and how Zelensky looks straight ahead and listens to this snake try and put a spin on his backstabbing and lies of the past. Zelensky doesn't trust this lying hyena, and he knows Trump is in serious trouble everywhere. But as painful as it looked, he knew politically he had to talk to this orange-faced liar, this stupid asshole, because stranger things have happened in America with our politics. Remember the election of 2016? Can't take nothing for granted around here anymore nowadays. But see, Zelensky knew he had to deal with Trump, because if Trump happens to become president again, he's still going to be in that war most likely with Russia, and he's going to need U.S. help. And you know how that's probably going to end up. Another, just a debacle, a shit show. But anyway, folks, that's really all I want to talk about tonight. It's been a crazy, crazy, crazy week. But, you know, the weeks get crazier and crazier. And ain't no telling who's gonna pop up next on the radar screen with me. It could be old Mr. Black Nazi. Could be old Rudy and all of his issues. Trump's always on the menu, of course. And, you know, poor Diddy. But I say that facetiously. I ain't really got no sympathy for him at all. But we've always got something to talk about. It's really never a dull moment in America, right? So, in closing, I want to thank all the people who took the time to take a peek at me, see what I'm talking about, see where I'm at. Really, where I'm at is just speaking the truth. Maybe if make you laugh, of course, that's cool. Matters are serious, but we gotta have a little fun with them at the same time being serious. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Throw me a few likes if you like. I appreciate it. And once again, we got to really, really buckle down these last 35 days or whatever, because it's coming. And it's hurtling at us faster and faster now. So keep up the good fight. Hang in there. The rest of the freedom fighters, shout out to Tennessee Brando, Texas Paul, Reese Waters, the OG, my main man. I always got to throw a shout out to Roland, Mr. Martin. People, staff at MSNBC, keep up the good work. Know y'all are fighting for our freedom as well, and we just got to keep it up. Don't let up, and we'll get the job done. All right. And anybody else who I didn't mention who's out there on the front line fighting against this crooked individual who wants to make America great again. We don't want to hear that shit. We know what it's all about. So, anyway, talk to you folks later. And I really hope and wish y'all have a great day, a wonderful day, and be careful.